For the UN Security Council to convene immediately. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel condemns it as criminal U.S. attack against Venezuela and demanded an urgent response from the international community. Russia says it's deeply concerned and has labeled it as an act of armed aggression. Spain has called for de-escalation, moderation, and respect for international law. Italy's foreign ministry says they're monitoring the situation with particular attention to the Italian community there. All right, for more discussion, we're joined by Han Han, a deputy research fellow at the Institute of Latin American Studies at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Thank you so much for joining us on CGTN at this moment. What do you think is the strategic thinking behind the U.S. decision to launch airstrikes against Venezuela at the beginning of the new year?
Well, thank you very much for the discussion. I think, for my opinion, the first of all, for U.S. military stake, the most important interest is the competition of oil resources. The core motive, as Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil resources, it's almost represented less than almost 20% of the global resources. Since the Chavez administration nationalized by the oil industry, U.S. companies they have faced constrained interests. U.S. sanctions have severely impacted Venezuela's oil exports, and it led U.S. to the risk of the Latin American region is Venezuela. And the second region is about the challenges to U.S. dollar heralding. As we know that some of the oil industry is not month on month using the dollar, and that with other other just like renminbi to pay for the oil resources. And the third reason is about the Venezuela is a very important country with the dominate of left-wing president for several years, and the influence of Venezuela and both the presidents influence a lot the region and the country. This for United States is not very good, and the long-term objective regions of challenges let U.S. feel nervous, feel very sorry about this reason, so that the region for this action.
Ms. Han, actually, since last year, the U.S. has increased its military presence in the Caribbean near Venezuela, citing counter-narcotics operations. So Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has described this as an undeclared war. In your view, why has Venezuela become a target?
Well, for the U.S. part, it offers several reasons, and the most important is facilitate drug trafficking. This is for the government of Maduro and the states, and also in several years or several months, U.S. military has also attacked some targets both on the sea and also on the continent of Venezuela, which represented a very strong rejection about the governments of Maduro. But from the side of Maduro government, they refused this.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Han Han, for sharing with us your insights. We really appreciate it. U.S. strikes on Venezuela's capital jolted many residents awake early this morning. CGTN's talked with a young content creator in Caracas who was live on TikTok when the explosions happened and captured the moment in real time.
Dios mío, ¿cómo se puso esto, pues? ¿Qué está pasando, marico? No, papi, son gente inocente, maldita sea, huevón, son gente inocente.
Y enfrente a mi casa.
In front of my house, where you may have already seen the live stream, several explosions occurred. Not just one, but several. I managed to capture one of them live, including flashes in the background.
And how many explosions in total did you hear?
Pues, ¿cuántas explosiones nos escuchamos?
More than 10 explosions. I went live at that moment to find out how many people were affected and to check on different areas because I'm in one zone and other areas had it worse. People felt scared.
There has been news from U.S. official that says President Trump ordered this attack. What is your reaction?
I'll say it again. I think this was an unnecessary action. I have nothing to do with politics. I don't want to get involved in that. I'm a content creator from Venezuela. I'm stuck here, but I do believe this was unnecessary. I think better terms could have been reached. There's been so much talk about this already. But for us Venezuelans, this is new, very new. We always look for the calmest way to resolve things, and I don't agree with this approach. It's the first time we're witnessing this kind of thing, war with another country. Fighting among ourselves, that's been normal, but with another country, it's complicated.
Are you scared right now? What is your plan for the coming days?
After all this, Venezuela is going to be paralyzed. Something difficult is going to happen here. It's the first time we're witnessing this kind of thing, war with another country. Right now, we don't know what we're going to do. What worries me is finding food, staying safe, and staying home. It's going to be very difficult to leave. Any exit route will be congested, and we're not safe anywhere right now.
Yemen's Southern Separatist Movement, the Southern Transitional Council, or STC, says it aims to hold a referendum on independence from the north. The group says there will be a 2-year transitional phase during which it will administer the southern part of the country. The announcement by the Southern Transitional Council comes as after a Saudi-led coalition launched airstrikes and helped the Yemeni government recapture land, which the STC seized last month. The STC has indicated immediate independence if there are more attacks against it. Meanwhile, Yemen's Saudi-backed Presidential Council has submitted a request to Saudi Arabia to host a forum aimed at resolving the southern issue. Saudi Arabia has welcomed the request. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on Israel to reverse its decision to suspend the operations of humanitarian aid groups operating in occupied Palestine. Guterres on Friday said he was deeply concerned by Israel's move, which adds onto earlier
Since all this process began many years ago, we have strengthened people through our work and commitment. We all have strength. The Venezuelan people is unconscious people, and I think Donald Trump and all the traitors that follow him are not forgiving. They know here is a committed people formed by Chavez and Maduro. The bombing today activates us and left us communicated and informed with the Vice President's message, and we stand by our president in this direction. I know that Venezuela represents will continue to be on the streets to defend our legacy and motherland. We are sure as people that Maduro is our constitutionally elected president. What had brought us to this point is Venezuela's resources. It's not about drug trafficking. That's a lie. Their whole purpose is to steal Venezuela's resources, and as we're not willing to kneel down before their empire, and we don't do as they please, we won't obey them. Well, we have set an example to the world of commitment, loyalty, with our principle that we don't owe anything to the Americans. And of course, we are not obeying their orders. We're thankful of international solidarity we have received, and all the people who are condemning this against Venezuela's sovereignty and Venezuela's respect. Since all this process began many years ago,